Yo, hey guys, it's Beast, back with some more beastly content. So I wanted to do a bit of a location guide for ores for the Way of Winter version. Now, we're going to talk about ores for just a little bit here. I am working on the territory still, so just know, this base ain't finished. But, we are going to be covering all of the ores where you can farm every single ore in the game for Way of Winter, specifically location-wise. But I'm also just going to cover a couple little tips. So, first things first, for copper, iron, tin, those 3 ores, oh, and sulfur, actually, those 4 ores. All of those ores are actually completely collectible just from Digby. So if you just get the Digby Deviation, which if you don't know what that is, it's this mining dude right here. Most of you probably know him. You get him for like the first 10 you smack or something. If you get a bunch of those, they will actually passively collect for you the iron, the tin, the copper, and the sulfur. So really the only actual ores you need to actually ever be going out to mine is tungsten and aluminum. Now you might still have to go out and mine the other ores because once again, either you're going to need a lot of Digbies, maybe you don't have any Digbies, maybe you don't want any Digbies. Regardless, this is going to be the location guide for all of these locations. Now another thing to mention is there is actually a mining platform in this game. Now mining platforms are able to mine different ores depending on the actual location placed in game. I'm not going to cover specifically locations for mining platforms. However, I am going to go ahead and explain this to you. So if there is a region that is a hotspot for a specific ore, there is a big chance that a mining platform can actually be placed down in that region. So if you build your base in that region, should be able to place a mining platform down in that region and actually be able to mine the ore that has a hotspot for it. So if it has a hotspot for tungsten, you'll be able to mine tungsten. And once again, link down below to my favorite interactive map in the world, because this actually has a heat map for all of the ores on it. And one of the great things about that heat map is it will actually tell you locations where there's a bunch of those ore clusters in one location. So if you build your base on that location with all those clusters, once again, you can build mining platforms. But without further ado, we're going to start with the first one. This is the ore you're probably needing. This is the most common ore, I guess. I mean, it drops from every other ore, so it has to be the most common ore. Gravel. So while the heat map doesn't show it, I'm going to show you just a good spot to go for some quick gravel. So you see Ocean View Teleportation Tower, you need to get this unlocked. Now, this is the Way of Winter version, and this is the new update. Hopefully you're playing on the latest update of it. Chaosium hubs are instant TP unlocks. You can teleport to them at any time. Even if you don't have this tower unlocked, you can literally teleport right here and go get this tower. And if you don't have Camp Igloo, once again, Chaosium hub. How nice is that? But go to the Ocean View Teleportation Tower because this is actually going to be our first location for ores. So I'll see you in just a second. Alrighty, so now that we are here, I just want to go ahead and take you to the good side of the gravel. Now, there should be some light gravel laying around here and some copper, but I actually want to show you where it is that I actually do all of my gravel farming is from this TP tower right here. So we're actually going to make ourselves up this road just a little bit, and we're going to kind of go off into the back side of this wall right over here. So at a certain point, I'm not actually sure where it starts at, but at a certain point, I think it's like right in front of the trees or something, there's a ton of these rocks right here, as you can see here. All of these rocks are gravel. You can go through and you just hit all of these rocks. As you can see, there was a ton of them here, but you hit all these rocks and you can just go all the way down the side of this cliff here, and it'll even spread out a little bit into there, and it's nothing but rocks and rocks and rocks. And it actually is nothing but rocks, and there's also, you know, some copper here. There is some other ores here, but mainly this is where you're going to be farming your gravel. If you need a bunch of gravel, this is the spot I recommend, at least for Way of Winter. Once again, I might cover in the future the best ore locations in the Manabus version, but maybe we'll just leave that up to some other content creator. So if someone has a good guide over the ore locations in Manabus, let me know down below. But as you can see here, look at all this gravel. I mean, seriously, this is so many rocks. This is literally my favorite one, and you just follow this mountain, you just keep on going up, and you keep on going up. You can get hundreds of thousands of gravel here super duper quick. I think we are about, oh, good thing we're in inversion. I think we are about done with gravel though, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk about sulfur. So I'm gonna show you a spot that has plenty of sulfur. Now we're gonna go ahead and head to this spot because this is actually the next spot we're gonna go to for copper and tin as well. Pipe Island Teleport Tower. You see this TP tower right here? Okay, so this will actually get you to the hot ore point. So I'm actually gonna make like a little bit more of like a map going on here. So we're going to be doing, so all these are my unstable abrasives, so we're going to leave our abrasives mapped out, but it's pretty much, we're going to do one of these, and we'll do ingot logo, pretty much start at this point, and then we're going to do another one. Right here's another ingot point. And then we're going to do another one right over about here. Right here is actually a really hot point for just a bunch of sulfur in one single small area there. So now that we have ourselves a couple hot points hit, we're actually going to go ahead and pin there. This is a great spot for sulfur. Now another thing to actually mention about this spot is, I do believe, yes, it's also very good for copper. There should also be some good tin here. This is just a TP tower you want to unlock. This is not our primary tin farm though. So if you're thinking, I'm going to go here for tin, don't even bother. This is not the best tin spot by far. Also, this place is pretty low overall on copper, but it is absolutely loaded with sulfur and actually, it's loaded with sulfur, it's loaded with copper, but there is absolutely no tin here. But this is also a god spot for copper. So, once again, this is just, there's copper for days everywhere you look here, pretty much. So, we're actually going to go ahead and head for one of those, and I'll see you when we actually get there. So, yeah, see you in just a second. Alrighty, and another thing I want to mention here before we actually get here, once again, like I said, this is a great spot for copper. There's copper literally everywhere. There's technically rocks here too. But as you can see right here, just outside of this rift anchor, this is also where you can get star trace ore. Since we're covering all the ores, I want to go ahead and mention this. Star trace ore right here, just outside of this rift anchor, just by the Pipe Island teleport tower. While we're literally still heading to our sulfur marker down here, as you can see, there's some sulfur already here. Down here, and look who is driving down there. Oh, it's my car. I threw it off a cliff. So let's go ahead and get down here though and check it out. Sulfur galore. There's also Sunny Ginger here, it looks like. But this is going to be a great place to mine sulfur. If you are doing some sort of farm that requires a lot of sulfur, or if you're looking for a place to farm hundreds of thousands of sulfur, this is your spot. You can also go ahead and get your copper farming going on here. You could do a sulfur X copper farm. Once again, there's sulfur to hot rock ore conversion, so you might want to be farming sulfur. And overall, this whole entire area seems like a great spot. Like I said, it's pretty much all this area right in here all the way to here. Just going from here to here and mining all the copper and the sulfur, you're going to have a ton of copper, you're going to have a ton of sulfur. So we've covered copper, we've covered sulfur, we've covered the rocks. So I guess the next one I actually want to go ahead and get on into is actually going to be iron. We're actually going to cover tin after iron, but let's go ahead and get on the iron now. Alrighty, so for iron, I actually want to do something just a little bit different. So we're going to head down here, actually. It should be this one. Is that all? Okay, so this is the tower we're actually wanting. So this is going to be phase 1's area for iron. Now, this isn't the hottest of regions for iron, but there's a decent amount of iron. It should all be just around this TP tower right here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get there now. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have some all-weather stew that we do. Okay, so I'll see you when we actually get to the TP tower. We are going to have to take a little bit of a drive here. So without further ado, I will see you when we get there. Alrighty, so due that we are in phase 2, nearly phase 3, we're not going to show the phase 1 farm area per se. We just showed it on the map. You've seen where it was, that TP tower. You go there, just outside of it, you can farm up some iron, go back to the TP tower and reload. But once again, that's a phase 1 location anyway, so let's go ahead and get on to our phase 2 location. This is really going to be where you're going to get more of the iron ore. Alrighty, so for our phase 2 location, and I realize I've been saying phase 2, but unless they change stuff after the test version, all regions are actually unlocked in phase 1 of Wave Winter. But we're going to Fire Throat Base Teleportation Tower, actually. Now, this is actually a great 2-in-1 farm here. So, this will actually knock out your tungsten and your iron farm location. So, you can actually just go up and down this road on the side, and you'll actually get a ton of tungsten and a ton of iron in this region, literally just from following Snake's Road here. So, as you can see here, we're on Snake's Road, and it also has ice melons, actually, so this is also another place for ice melon, and it looks like spike meadows, so that's interesting. But we're mainly here for the iron deposits, which are just on both sides of the road here, and then also, as you can see here, do we have a drill on us, maybe? I really hope we do. So, we're doing a guide over the best places to mine ores, and then I don't even have myself an advanced drill right now. Okay, so regardless though, as you can see here, just all the way up and down this road, you're gonna find iron ore, and you're gonna find tungsten ore. And I'm not sure on the other ores, but I do know there's a ton of tungsten and a ton of iron all the way down this road. Literally just make yourselves back and forth from one side of the road to the other. As you can see here, a ton more tungsten. We just keep on going down here. Up, look, way more tungsten. And once again, this is a 2-in-1 farm. I know you're after the iron, but tungsten ore in the end is probably the one you're going to be more after. And I really just don't ever see you needing to go mine for iron. So with that, we're segueing into tungsten. This is by far my favorite spot to mine for tungsten. Another reason I'm actually mentioning this is because, and once again, we don't even have a drill. There's also gold here, and it's also, like I said, pretty good hot spot for the iron ores. There's a good number of iron ore nodes here in this area, and once again, also a great spot for tungsten. Really good spot for tungsten, honestly. And then there's, you know, a couple rocks here, a lot of iron right there. 3 different nodes there. It looks like there was a node across the road. A bunch more tungsten here. Like I said, just all the way down this snaking road. Literally from the start of the TP tower, you can run all the way through here to, I'd say about this region is really where you want to give up when it comes to your mining. But this will get you a ton of tungsten and iron, absolutely no problem. Alrighty, so since we did kind of jump into tungsten, I do want to mention a couple more. So the Snake Belly TP tower, all around here is pretty loaded with tungsten. The Snake Eye Pass teleportation tower, follow the road. Once again, both sides of the road, you can just follow it all the way up this road here. Literally all the way over into here, there's a ton of tungsten ores there. But with that being said, I do believe we're done with the tungsten. I do want to cover aluminum and silver and gold wise. Once again, I showed you a gold spot. This video is not about silver and gold. If you're looking for silver and gold, well, you need to go somewhere else, honestly, because there's only 63 silver ore nodes in Way of Winter, and there's only 7 gold ore, at least known ones. There's probably more, but on my map, there's only 7 gold ones, so we're not worried about gold. But aluminum wise, I do want to show you a really good hotspot for aluminum ore, and it is actually going to be the Ripe Land TP tower. And it's actually pretty close to this TP tower right here. So we're going to Ripe Land right here. The Ripe Land TP tower. This is actually where we're trying to get to. So without further ado, we're actually going to get to this TP tower. But it's actually just pretty much, you see we got a road here again. Just all sides of it, there's just going to be a ton of aluminum. This is literally the best aluminum farm spot. Now, another one I will mention for aluminum, tungsten, and just another like daily thing to be doing in phase 1. Frost Forge teleportation tower. Go to this teleport tower, jump down, and there's actually a cave you can enter, and the entire cave is just lined with ores. They're only farmable every 4 hours, but you can include it in your point of interest run and get yourselves a ton of aluminum, a ton of tungsten. I think another ore spawns there, and there's even a chance for silver and gold to be spawning in that cave. Once again, silver and gold farm there for phase 1. If you really need it, my Digby's handle all my silver and gold. We're going to go ahead and get this aluminum farm though. So we've hit this TP tower, and we actually want to once again get to this one right here, and then check both sides of your road, and you're going to find nothing but aluminum on both sides, just flooding the place. Literally just explore around, you'll find so much aluminum there. Let's go check it out. Alrighty, so while we are not currently right next to the Ripe Land TP tower, I also wanted to mention this is also another great spot for the tin. There's also going to be some sulfur here, it does look like, as we were just making ourselves up here. Also, you know, around this tower, it does look like there's a good amount of gravel as we are heading to this tower. Ice melon also found here. We'll look at another ice melon. So this actually seems like a pretty good ice melon area. So also mint and ice melon, yeah, pretty good. And then there's tons of gravel, mint. Yeah, I really do like this Ripe Land TP tower. Definitely a tower worth picking up, especially for your ore or trips. We do find a little bit of iron here. Once again, the region all around that TP tower is actually the region that's going to be loaded with the aluminum. As you can see here, there's some aluminum ore, already finding aluminum ore, tungsten ore, another aluminum node. Good amount of tungsten here, another rock, got some sulfur there. A little bit of iron, once again, just a good overall area. But if you're mainly after the aluminum, that's why you're coming here. You will find the most aluminum in this region. There's also, once again, like I said, pretty decent amount of tin, though mainly around the TP tower itself. So I'll see you in just a second. Alrighty, so we have actually finally reached the TP tower. Once again, this region is just a great place to go to for the aluminum. There's a ton of aluminum. Just go up and down the roads. As you can see, we're to this road now. We can cross that bridge if we want to, but I just ran past 2 aluminum nodes there. Even more aluminum right up here. Actually, this looks like tin, but regardless, there should be some aluminum. That one should be, it's either aluminum or tin. Once again, I did see a decent amount of tin nodes just around the TP tower. You actually kind of got to leave the TP tower. There was another aluminum node there. Right though, like I said, this is a great spot for aluminum. It's not a bad spot for tin. You can get tin farming in here, but with that, we are going to get on into tin now. Like I said, this is just the G spot for, you know, tin or aluminum. And honestly, this is just a good farming spot overall because there's actually multiple of these. I seen another zip line that was actually reaching over here that was going upwards. I'd actually see, yeah, that one right there. So as you can see, we got one zip line here, one zip line over there. We also got a bridge over there that will take you up to there that I'm pretty sure also takes you to a zip line. Plenty of distance you can cover just from this one TP tower. I mean, we can go all the way across over there and get whatever ores are hiding out over the air. Overall, pretty good spot, but without further ado, let's get on into our tin. And this is a shore right here, so there should be a ton of shell rock there. You can actually farm up there for a ton of fertilizer if you're looking for that form of a fertilizer farm. And like I said, so many different things here. This really is a god spot to go farm literally probably everything. I mean, I think I'd just hang out here and farm everything, but I will show you a better spot when it comes to the tin hotspot wise. So there should be more tin in this area. We're actually going to be heading to the Unfallen Crash site. It's kind of like outside of the Unfallen Crash site, but I'll show you. So it's actually like a specific road, and you're just going to check both sides of it. Alrighty, so since we are at Unfallen Crash site, I want to go ahead and mention another thing. So iron ore wise, so pretty much, and we're going to do this one simply. We're going to do this with stars though. So I remember this is just my iron ore like favorite area. This is a pretty good area for iron ore right out here, right out front. You should just be able to jump right into here. But for the actual tin ore itself, you're actually going to want to start here, right here at this little curve, and go up and down the road, checking both sides for tin ores, and then you're going to walk all the way until right to this point here. So once again, follow this path, but this point right here, all in here is a ton of ore, so you're going to want to get on this side of the road over here, and then right in here, a ton more ore. So you get it. We're actually going to go ahead and target to that specific red dot there, and we'll start this run. I'm going to go ahead and check this out. I think I'm actually going to have to get myself a drill, and we'll check out the tin one. But that should be all of the ores. We covered tungsten, we covered aluminum, we covered iron, we covered copper. That's also tin, that's sulfur, gravel, and stardust ore. So with that, that's every ore in Way of Winter. So I do believe I can go ahead and get out of here. I am going to get myself a drill actually made up. I kind of find it funny. I told you the best locations for farming this stuff, and then we didn't even have a drill. I do just real quickly want to go ahead and show you the start of this area so you can see, yes, there's a decent amount of tin here. And actually, it looks like the entire journey there, you're actually going to be able to find some tin too. Like I said, there's 2 nodes of tin there. I'm already seeing, just eyeballing it, either tin or aluminum once again, which, you know, either or for me works. But I'm actually going to be in here. Let me explain to you why you might want to farm tin. So my Digby setup outputs a lot more copper than it does tin, and I actually prefer to only make bronze ingots because it's only 2k bronze ingots, but it's 5k copper ingots when it comes to wish box feeding. And if you didn't know, you can actually feed ingots to the wish box to get the common materials in the game, i.e. every single material, including tier 5. And I do believe it'll actually even drop tier 5 mats in phase 1 of the game. So with that being said, this is literally just such a crazy way of getting all your mats farmed up. Instead of doing point of interest, you can just go mine ores. Pretty crazy if you ask me. We are going to get to the start of this. Like I said, this is supposed to be like pretty much 0 nodes until you actually get to the start of this road, and then on both sides it'll just be loaded with tin right after this starting point. I'm telling you, this is the spot. But I am out of here, guys. Go ahead and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and keep it beast mode.